Woo! All right, man, it has been crazy. Yo, what's up, everybody? It is your boy Brandon. Yo, so for my last couple of videos that I've done, a lot of people have asked me about the amount of views and the different angles that I get with some of the things that I record with. So today I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of showing you how I set my camera up and some of the parts that I buy in order to get this one particular look. Now, a lot of people saw this particular look on the video that I did with Talia on the farm, and I'll try to put that video up here to show you kind of like some behind the scenes. But it was really cool because I normally use my Atomos Ninja, which is over here, to give you guys kind of a view from my sensor to actually show you the settings and everything on my camera, because I think that's cool. You can see the focusing, my ISO, shutter, like all those things that I'm recording directly on my sensor. But sometimes it gets kind of heavy. I don't mind the weight, but sometimes I don't be wanting to have my Atomos Ninja right on my camera. So in order to alleviate that, I found another way to record my sensor without having the Atomos Ninja as my big viewfinder right on the back of my camera. So today I'm actually going to show you guys how I do that, how I achieve that other angle for you. Now again, this is a personal preference. Sometimes I want you guys to see my settings, sometimes I don't care. And you fix the setting through that control of like that HDMI out setting on like your Sony cameras. I don't know what it is on the other cameras, but it gives you either that clean video output as you guys saw with the Talia video, or sometimes I can record my settings. So it really kind of just depends on how I feel for that actual shoot, whether I want to deal with the Atomos or whether I just want to record my sensor and not care about the information on the camera. If I just want to capture the model, just give you guys another angle, then sometimes I will just go with a clean HDMI out, which means I will record my sensor, but I won't use the Atomos right here on my camera. Now in your camera, this is called HDMI info display. This determines whether I want that information displayed or if I want a clean HDMI. All right, if I want you guys to see the information, or if I don't. That's what we're talking about here. If I want you guys to see it, then I have to record it directly to the Atomos to record it to my sensor. If I don't care about it, then I can just basically transmit the HDMI signal wirelessly from my camera that I'm shooting with to the Atomos somewhere and just have it record what it's seeing via wireless HDMI. But how do we achieve that? Well, how do I achieve it? Because I don't really see nobody else out there doing this. I'm just saying. But how do I achieve that wireless transmission? So let me just go through some of the things that I have and some things that you're going to need if you want to do this kind of exact same build. All right, let's go. Now, the first thing we are going to talk about is you have to have a Sony camera. I'm not saying you have to have a Sony camera for this. I'm just saying that I use the Sony cameras. So my Sony cameras are all set up this way. That way, if I want to put it on one or put it on the other, it don't matter. All right. So the first thing you're going to need is this L bracket. All right. Now, I don't remember the name of this L bracket. And I tried to find it, but I will put it up either on the screen or I will show you exactly where that is. All right. All right. So the first thing you're going to need is this L bracket. All right. It has a few 1/4" screws up here. It has a cold shoe mount right at the top of it. There's a 1/4" right on the bottom of it, even once I mount it to my camera. So that's really, really important for this build, and I'm going to show you. All right. So the first thing you're going to need is this HD. It's called a Cam HD rod clamp. All right. This is really important. This is like your HDMI rod clamp. This is what I attach to the actual cage that will hold my HDMI cord in place, so I won't have to worry about it moving and going around a lot. Because after time, I've noticed over time with cameras, when that HDMI cord moves around a lot, it starts to loosen that HDMI connection, and then you got to send it in to Sony or send it in to whoever, and it costs a lot of money to replace that HDMI. So I've learned my lesson over the years to try to stop that HDMI cord from moving. Just keep it nice and firm in there, and you won't have to worry about that. So the next thing we have is an HDMI cable, but this is a female to male, okay? Because we're going to need this end to plug into the transmitter. As you guys know, transmitters and receivers have an HDMI on the end of them. So we need to have this in order to connect the HDMI, and then we connect this part into the camera, okay? So next we have a USB-A to micro cable here for our power bank, and we're gonna get to that in a second. The next thing we have here is a Neewer SSD holder bracket, all right? This is really important because this is what I use to hold the power bank in place. And as you can see right here, it has a 1/4" screw on the bottom of it. Again, this is to mount to the bottom of this L bracket, which is extremely important. So not only does this screw into the actual camera, I can use the other open 1/4" screw to mount the SSD bracket, which is crazy, which is really, really important for this build. All right, so that's why I have this bracket, and that's why I wanted to find some type of holder that will be big enough to hold like a power bank, but something really, really slim. All right, so the next we have a NUI 10,000 portable power bank. All right, now this is a pretty slim power bank. All right, now I chose this because it has a nice thin design to it. It's not that big. I could have, of course, probably found something smaller, but I wanted to make sure I had a lot of power, and I wanted to make sure it was small enough. So again, all right, and then here you go. On the top, it has 2 USB-A's, and it also has a USB-C port. All right, and again, this is what this cable is going to be for, because we're going to plug this into the power bank. All right, and this is why we're going to need this, and I'm going to show you exactly why we need this power bank. All right, so the stars of the show. So you guys, if you don't remember, I did a video on this transmitter and receiver kit a while ago. All right, this is the Famedo G69 wireless transmission kit. They do transmit in 1080p. All right, and they do have to be powered again. So this is why you have to use the power bank to connect to the transmitter that's going to be on your camera to give it power. The receiver plugs into the Atomos. Now we're going to move over to the Atomos. All right, so again, this is so I can wirelessly transmit the signal of my camera over to my Atomos that I can put way somewhere else and still record the sensor of my camera while I'm taking pictures. All right, this is our Atomos, and then we also have an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom of it. All right, this is so we can mount it to like a tripod stand that's somewhere else. Now this is really, really important. I have a V-mount battery. This is by ZGson. All right, so this has a USB-A and USB-C port right on top. It also has one right on the side. Now remember earlier when I told you that the receiver has a USB, a micro USB, but it also has a USB-C on this end. This is so I can give this power. So what I would do is I would plug the receiver into here, and as you can see on here, I don't know if you can really see that because of the light, but it has a light now on my receiver that shows you that it is getting power right now. All right, so basically what I do is that the V-mount has this. So what I do is I take this claw. All right, it has like this claw on the end, and it has a claw in it, but it also has a V-mount port on here. That way I can mount my V-mount. So I'll take this and I will just basically mount this on my tripod and just clamp it down on a tripod that's sitting somewhere. I would take my V-mount battery, do it just like that. All right, and then I would mount my Atomos Ninja on here, screw it down, and I'm doing this pretty fast, all right, because I don't really care right now. Now, instead of mounting a bunch of these MP batteries, these MP batteries right here, I basically just took one that will plug into here. Now, when you do that, it's actually asking for the other part. The transmitter is waiting for a connection, all right? So we're going to put this off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the camera. So now we have that over there, and our Atomos Ninja is waiting for our signal from our transmitter. We're gonna go ahead and set up our actual camera to actually shoot with, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the mount, all right? Now also what I did is I went ahead and took some Velcro and I put it on the battery charger, my portable charger, and I also put it on the transmitter. So that way it'll look like this, all right? And I will mount it this way under my camera. So you see how the transmitter is getting power right now? It's getting power from the power bank very, very easily. All right, just like that. All right, so what we want to do is that we're going to use this clamp and see how this clamp clamps to this, just like this. All right, you see how this clamp clamps to this? But we need to mount the clamp to our camera first. So we're going to mount this clamp to our camera first. Now we have the mount under here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this mount. I'm going to take the battery port on here, and I'm going to mount it under my camera. And it's going to look like this. All right, I'm going to put this in the picture right here for you. All right, and this is what it looks like. Let me go ahead and move this. All right, so now, all right, so the next step is to go ahead and install our rod clamp, because this clamp is what we're going to use to hold our HDMI cable in place. All right, so as you can see right here, you see how it has a few 1/4 inch threads right here. We're going to go ahead and mount this rod clamp, which is perfect, on this side. All right, and I'm going to use the very far hole right here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and twist it down. All right, so now we have already installed our rod clamp, which is really important. So it has these 2 thumb screws right here. And this way, when we mount our actual HDMI cable in here, we can tighten it down so we can ensure that it doesn't go anywhere. Now we have a clear access to the HDMI port. So I'm going to go ahead and take the HDMI cable and go ahead and plug it in. So I am able to go ahead and open this up some. All right, and I'm going to squeeze it on down through here just like so. All right, bam, and it clamps right in. Now, once it's clamped in, now I can tighten down the HDMI clamp right here so I can ensure that this thing doesn't move. Again, you don't want this thing moving and getting loose and everything, because it costs a little bit of money if you mess up this HDMI port. So this thing is nice and clamped down, and then this way I know that whatever I'm doing, this HDMI will not move at all. And I use this a lot too. Even when I mount my Atomos here, I love this HDMI rod clamp, because I don't have to worry about it moving inside my camera or loosening that port. I wish I would have used this a long time ago, but unfortunately I didn't. So now that we have that installed, now you see the HDMI for the transmitter right here, and you have the other end of the HDMI port that's going to connect right to the cable, just like that. So now we have the HDMI connected, everything is connected, and yeah, so I'm gonna get a lens real quick. Now also, I can put a friction bar on top of here and put my GoPro or my X4 on here, just to give me even another view of like me or what's going on. But I love doing this. Again, this is when I don't care about the HDMI info display on my camera and I just want to get another angle of my model without doing anything. I think is absolutely great. Again, you won't be able to see the info, but it still allows you to see what my model is actually doing. So now that I have a lens on here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. All right, and I'm gonna ensure that this is connected all the way. All right, so as you can see back here on my Atomos, as soon as I connected it and empowered, it connected to, let me see here. It connected to the receiver. It picked up the signal. Now, as you can see right now on my camera, you can see, I'm gonna try to zoom in here, but right now it has, you can tell it has HDMI info display on, because if I look at something, it's showing you the shutter speed, let me go ahead and make it brighter. There you go, 250. So as you can see, it's showing you the shutter speed and everything else with it. So I don't want that, because I want to be able to also see it on here. As you can see, there it is. See it? And it has really, really good latency. Ain't that crazy? Now, I don't want it on here because guess what? You remember, if you have HDMI info display on, I can't see, as you can see, I can't see the back of my screen also. Remember that if you have HDMI info. So that's the reason why when I want to mount my Atomos on here, I use the Atomos as seeing the model and taking pictures. But if I turn that HDMI info display off, then I cannot see I can't see anything on here when it's on. When it's off, I'll be able to see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn. I'm gonna go see HDMI info display is on. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it off. And now you see I have a clean HDMI. There is no information on here. So when I'm taking my pictures of my model, I can just record. I can just press record on my Atomos, and it's going to record what's exactly being seen on my sensor without actually mounting the Atomos to my camera. And then there you go. And now, as you can see, I have the data, or I'm sorry, let me get over there. See if you can see it. Whatever, you can see it. But now I have the picture on my camera right now because again, I have a clean HDMI. I have a clean HDMI right now. So that's why I use it this way. So again, it depends on what I want to do and what I want to show you guys. If it's a really like a technical photo shoot, I have a really good amazing model and I want to actually show you guys what's on the back of my camera with the settings. You can see the focusing, speed, everything. Then that's a lot of times I will go ahead and mount the Atomos on my camera and show you exactly what my settings and everything are. But when I want to do a clean HDMI out and I don't really care about, you know, the info and I just want to show you guys another view of the model, then I will mount it like this. All right. And I will just go ahead and shoot and just press record on the Atomos that's set up way back here somewhere, you know, and I can just shoot and I can get this view. I can use my Osmo Pocket. I can use the Insta360 X4 or I can use whatever, and I can get a lot of different angles basically without doing anything. And that is how you use a wireless transmission kit. Now, I don't know if there's a wireless transmission kit out there that can power itself. Most of them have to be powered if they're wireless like this. I found this way to be the absolute best way to power a wireless transmission kit, especially if you're doing it for photography or anything like me. This is absolutely great. All right, so that is how I get you guys that other angle without actually mounting my Atomos to my actual camera. But again, I can't reiterate it. It depends on how I feel and what I want to do. Whether I want to give you guys the info and the model at the same time, or if I just want to get another angle of the model without doing anything else. And then I can just mount this and then I can go on about my day. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that video, man. And I was finally glad to get this out to you. All right. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me in the video if there's something that you want to see. I'll probably put all the links to all these parts down in the comment section below. I will tell you that I think the wireless transmission kit that I have has been discontinued. I'll put it down there also, but again, you have the idea. You can do this pretty much with any wireless transmission kit that you feel good about, and that is how I would mount it. All right, so until next time, I'll see you guys in another video. This is your boy Brandon, aka the Kevin Hart of photography. I'm out of here. Peace.